Why would a company employee open fire on his colleagues this morning? That's the question everyone is asking after 4 people were shot at the Mueller Company plant. The plant is located on Industrial Boulevard in Albertville. Our team coverage starts with Julia Smith with the latest.
My name's Jamie Smith. I'm the police chief here with the Albertville Police Department. Come to you with a heavy heart this afternoon.
The residents of Albertville grieving tonight, trying to make sense of a mass shooting at the Mueller Company around 2 this morning. Michael Dobbins and David Horton were killed. Casey Sampson and Isaac Bird injured. Both injured employees were flown to Earlinger Hospital in Chattanooga. At 2:30 a.m., Albertville Police Department was called and learned that the shooter left the scene.
As the investigation unfolded, it was determined that the shooter, Andreas Dion Horton, 34 years old, of County Road 25 in DeKalb County, who is also an employee of the Mueller Company, presented a handgun and began to fire an unknown amount of rounds at fellow employees.
Hours later, the suspect was found dead in his Jeep near Guntersville City Cemetery. Officials say it appeared he killed himself. Right now, investigators still aren't sure of a motive.
Obviously, I'd like to extend our thoughts and prayers to the Mueller Company in the coming days. They've been a pillar and a great community partner in Marshall County for many years. I would also like to extend thanks for assistance during the response and also the investigation to many local law enforcement agencies.
And the chief of police as well as an FBI representative say they will continue to work closely and find out more about this shooting. Putting the Valley first, Julia Smith, WZDX News.